After liberating an entire country from the Empire, really made me think that I need to just take a vacation. So I did. Decided to work on dancing. Now I'm at level 70 on that, so how about we go on ahead and take care of the rest of the dancer job quests. That sounds like it could be fun. Wait! What the hell just happened? I legitimately didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Anyway, I'm here in Costa del Sol because this is where we last left off the troop. And where I need to go to get my next quest, so... I worked on getting Dancer up to level 70. Now I can just take care of all these quests in succession. Well, if it isn't my star pupil, you couldn't have come at a better time. Messenger just arrived. It would appear that Master Gegaruju has received a response from his friends in the Sultanate. As for the details, he would deliver them to us in person. Why don't you go on ahead to his villa? I will fetch Rana and be along shortly. I was just... fine. Maybe I can zip off the edge again. Get there faster. Somehow. Well, if it isn't my second favorite dancer. Good news, my boy. Thanks to the highest recommendations of yours truly, my friends at the Syndicate would be more than happy to host one of your performances in Ul'dah. You have our deepest gratitude, Master Gegaruju. Truly, your generosity knows no bounds. Think nothing of it. Your performance gave me a thrill I'll not soon forget. And, while I'd love doing nothing more than to keep you all to my own, I'd be remiss if I didn't share my most remarkable discovery with the rest of the realm. That goes for you in particular, my lovely Rana. You may be a bit rough around the edges, but that just adds to your untamed, dare I say, feral allure. Nothing would make me happier than to go down in history as the man who introduced your beauty to Eorzea. I almost thought it was going to say something different after I read to go down. I'll leave it at that. Why, Master Gegaruju, you're making me blush. Yeah, that'll take me. I simply can't bear the thought that you've performed on my stage for the last time. You'll grace me with one final farewell performance, won't you? Surely after all I've done for you. Our apologies, Master Gegaruju, but we must not keep our audience in the Sultanate waiting. After all, this is but the second stop on our journey, a journey we must see through to the end. Besides, while your words do Rana and us all a great honor, I would remind you that the girl is still an apprentice. Excess praise can lead to overconfidence, overconfidence to carelessness, and carelessness to an untimely fall. Do you hear me, Rana? No matter what glowing words your admirers may heap upon you, remember that your journey as a dancer has only just begun. Keep your feet planted firmly on the ground, lest you stumble on the road to achieving your full potential. But of course, and yet it's truly inspiring to have such a devoted fan, is it not? Why, it helps me appreciate just how much I've blossomed as a dancer in such a short time. I do not mean to make light of your achievements. I only ask that you stay focused on the task at hand, continue to hone your craft, and not let yourself get swept away by unchecked emotion.
Okay.
And with that, we should be taking our leave. Master Gegaruju, we thank you for your patronage and hospitality. When our business in Eorzea is done, we will return to fully express our gratitude. You need not feel compelled to travel with the troop, Throat. I trust that you have matters of your own that you would attend to along the way. We shall await you in Ul'dah.
Okay.
I guess I'm making the trip on my own. One more for the road. Wait! So this is Ul'dah, Jewel of the Desert. But we're not here to see the sights. No, we must decide upon a suitable venue for our next performance. As a matter of fact, I already have an idea. I was thinking we might put on a show in Stone's Throw, a settlement outside of town to be said to be home to the poor and downtrodden. Are you sure of this, Mistress Nashimera? I agree that the art should be enjoyed by the lowborn as well as the high, but this is some glorified shantytown truly the best place for us to find an audience here? I would have it no other way. Now listen to me, Throat, and listen carefully. You will recall that I told you that our Kriegstans has the unique power to clear hearts and minds of worries, and lift the spirits of all who behold it. Put another way, bringing joy and succor to the scorned and the suffering is no less than our calling in life. And Limsa as well, our audience included many who were down on their luck, and yet it did not seem those troubles weighed so heavily in their hearts. Mayhaps this is a remnant of their pirate heritage, a flagon of ale in hand and a song on the lips, and all their cares fade away. Ul'dah is different. Here, I feel the scars of calamity run deeper, particularly among those who lack the coin needed to rebuild their lives in their satisfaction. Stone's Throw it will be. I can think of no place more in need of what we offer.
You there! Halt! Halt, I say!
Brass Blade? You're the dancing troupe that's come at the invitation of the Syndicate, yes? On the authority of the Brass Blades, we command you to desist at once. What? Fear not, you have done not wrong. It's just, well, Stone's Throw is not safe for visitors these days, you see. A group of real rabble-rousers has been causing trouble of late. You know how it is. Protests, riots, and all sorts of unpleasant business. Of course, the anger is targeted directly at Uldah's upper crust. Like as not, they'd leave you a troop of performers. Still, the Syndicate cannot accept the risk of its honored guests suffering an untimely injury, or worse. We appreciate your concern, but I can assure you that it is wholly unnecessary. All members of my troop are well trained in the art of self-defense. We are more than capable of taking care of ourselves. That's right. Besides, healing suffering and strife across the realm is precisely the reason we've come here. Whatever sort of struggle that your people face, why not let us look into the matter and see if we can't resolve it? It is a gracious offer, but no. Keeping the peace is our sworn duty, and one we cannot simply impose on guests. Besides, we are trained soldiers, and you are not. For your own safety, you should take your leave of this place at once. You haven't seen these dancers, you know. These are no ordinary dancers, you say. While I'm not entirely certain what you're implying, I would suppose we have no reason to not take you at your word. Very well then, you and your friends may carry on. Just promise that you won't go looking for trouble, eh? My line of work, trouble seems to look for us. Mistress Nashmera, leave this to me. I'll dance up a storm for these poor folks, calm their hearts, and put an end to any riots or uprisings. I admire your spirit, Rana, and yet I cannot shake the sense that great danger does indeed lurk here. You may go, but only if Throat accompanies you, and you must promise that you will not leave his side.
Okay.
All right, the more the merrier. Don't you agree, Throat? Let's make for Stone's Throw. I'll race you there.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Let's get started, shall we? Our first task is to figure out just who's behind these riots. Why don't we split up and ask around and see what turns up? Don't tell me you're worried about that silly promise I made to Mistress Nashmera. Come now, Throat. Clearly she worries overmuch. You saw me on the stage. Do I look like someone who can't take care of herself? Now, let's see what the townspeople can tell us. Meet you back here when we're both done, all right? All right. Right. Hey, they've been trouble here of late. Won't catch me dead getting myself involved. Whoever's behind it all wish she'd just bugger off and give us some peace and quiet for once. Of course, it doesn't stop those brass blades from glaring at me askance every time they come through a neighborhood. Not that I can blame them, I suppose. Rumor has it the true culprit's an expert in throwing the authorities off his trail. Looking for some rabble-rouser rider, you say? Might know a thing or two. What's it to you? None of us here in Stone's Throw have much love for the rich. This much is true. Still, it wasn't until lately when someone just started talking about actually giving them their due. Thought they were just talking big, but lately it seems they've been putting their plot into action. That's a little concerning. I'm sure we're gonna be just fine and no trouble's gonna come to us whatsoever. I mean, it's not like we actively look for it. It just comes to us. Hey, you there. Your friend's that Mikote girl, right? The one with the fancy dress? Yeah, what's going on? She was asking around about the riots, you know. Well, would you believe I actually saw her talking to one of the blackguards responsible for it all. Wait, what? Last thing I saw, he was leading her away somewhere. I'd go after her if I were you. Well, I wouldn't. Never had the nerve for that sort of thing. But I reckon you should, before the poor things comes to harm. Looks like I gotta play the hero again. I just wanted to dance. Wanted to take a break from being the hero for once. Oh, that's not good. You alright? Aha! I knew it! What the hell are you doing here? You're too weak. You okay? Oh, Throat, you really saved my skin. This man told me he'd take me to the rioters' hideout. He'd led me there and then... Well, to be honest, I'm still unsure entirely of what I witnessed. It was the strangest thing. As soon as he brought me here, his body began to sway and spin in the strangest way. If I didn't know better, I'd say he was dancing. But we can talk about that when we're back in safer environs. I should probably summon the brass blades and file an official report. Meanwhile, could you return to the city and let Mistress Nashmera know I'm all right and tell her I'm sorry for breaking my word. All right, as long as you are safe and I don't have to do this again, at least for this quest. I see. I had a feeling this would happen. Do not blame yourself, Throat. You're not her keeper. I will deal with the girl myself when she returns. That said, I'm curious. What can you tell me of the strange dance she says her would-be captors were performing? Good news, friends. Thanks to your efforts, we have apprehended the firebrand. Peace should return to Stone's Throw for now, at least until the next rabble-rouser decides to fan the flames. Still, there's one part of the story that does not sit well with me. The girl here claims she saw her captors dancing, but those we took into custody swear the last man they remember... They swear to the last men they remember no such thing. They denied that they were dancing, but Why ever would they feel the need to lie about something so insinuous when they're already convicted of a far more heinous crime? It's not precisely a lie. You see, from here the tale gets even stranger. They claim to have a vague recollection of their bodies moving, but insist they had absolutely no intention of doing so. When they went on to say they couldn't even remember where or why they came up with the idea to ride in the first place, on the contrary, they seemed almost relieved, just as if some evil spirit had been banished from them. Someone using the power of dance to possess people? Sounds like our friends have been partaking in a particularly unstable and unsavory alchemical concoction. At any rate, Brass Blades will be taking over the investigation from here. Thank you for your assistance, and please carry on with the preparations for your performance with our blessing. I'm sorry, Mistress Mashmira. I should have stayed with Throat like you said. Together, I'm sure we could have worked things out peacefully. In the end, I was not able to dance even a single step. Just as the Kriegstands can enthrall and inspire, so it can serve us in battle. A true dancer must be prepared for both possibilities at all times. Throat here was able to display his skills as a dancer in battle today, and I suspect that is for that very reason that your would-be captors... But never mind that. Rana, you disappoint me. It is not lack of dancing prowess that led to your failure today. No, it was the overconfidence that led you to stray from your partner's side. When Troop Valsame dances, we dance as one. We dance to stir hearts and lift spirits, not merely to show off our skills, that our admirers might shower us with empty praise. I thought you understood this, but it's clear that you still have much to learn. I'm sorry, Mistress Nashmira. I promise I will not repeat my mistake. Forgive me for making you suffer the girl's foolishness, Throat. Though she has grown in skill, it is clear she's still a child in more ways than one. I can only hope that she will take today's lesson to heart, lest she eventually pay the price. I think you're asking a little too much of her. Being a true dancer is more about more than knowing how to move one's feet. I must be tougher on Rana than anyone, lest Troop Valsheim to fail to carry out its sworn duty. I can see you are confused by my words. Do not worry. All will become evident in due time. Yes, both you and Rana will understand all too well. And with that, I must prepare our forthcoming performance. This time, I will be asking Rana to take the stage alone. She may consider it her opportunity to reflect upon her actions today and, God's willing, learn to grow from her missteps. Meanwhile, perhaps it would be best if you too return to your training. If you and Rana truly mean to bring out the best in one another, both of you will need to work harder than ever before. Farewell for now, and let us meet up again when it is time to move on.
Okay.
Now I do believe it's time I did some investigating of my own. I can tell she's taken on the characteristics of a very strict ballerina instructor. Anyway, it's good to see you, Throat. You'll be pleased to hear that our expedition in the Sultanate was a rousing success. Rana gave quite the inspired performance. It would seem the girl has indeed taken her lessons to heart. That leaves Gridania as the final stop on our three-nation tour. I meant to depart immediately, but I must confess that the curious developments in Ul'dah have given me pause. Upon our arrival, let us first pay a visit to the Adder's Nest and inquire as to any strange happenings about town. Do not ask me why, but I believe it is best that we stay vigilant. You heard the lady, let's head to Gridania. And you know what? I think I'm actually gonna go by airship this time. Nice change of pace from teleporting everywhere and making myself sick. I get to get sick in an entirely different way. Big gulps, huh?
Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
That looks good on you. I kind of like it. Throat, I'm sorry to say that my fears appear to have been well-founded. Gridania too has seen its fair share of social unrest of late. Pray explain the situation to my colleagues, good sir. You are familiar with the Duskwhite, yes? They are a clan of Ellison who eschew the shackles of urban life and instead choose to live in isolation. For the most part, both sides choose to leave the other well enough alone. Recently, however, the events have taken a troubling turn. Groups of Duskwhites have been assembling for reasons unknown, holding secret gatherings on the outskirts of the forest. Whatever their aim, we can be quite certain that it is nothing good. Twin Adder is content to let them be, provided they do us no harm, but when they turn to thieving and threatening our way of life, we cannot simply turn a blind eye. To say the tensions between the Duskwhites and our citizens have been rising would be an understatement. To this point, troublemakers among the Duskwhite have primarily acted alone, which makes the manner in which they are now plotting something together in plain sight all the more concerning. Some here in the nest even believe they are sowing the seeds for a violent uprising. As fortune would have it, these Duskwhite rabble-rousers have recently been sighted with a particular frequency in the immediate vicinity of of the venue where I hope to hold our performance. Needless to say, we must address the immediate danger before we can even think about going forward with our performance. Throat, Rana, what say we investigate the matter together this time? Consider it done. I'll make up for my failure. Just you watch me. Once I've soothed the Duskwights' hearts with my dance, riding will be the furthest thing from their minds. And you can count on me to actually keep a close eye on her this time instead of having her go off by herself. Anyway, thank you, friends. Let's settle that. That settles it then. Leave the matter of the Duskwight demagogues to my colleagues here. I suppose there would be some merit in delegating the task to you, rather than risk fanning the flames between the Duskwights and our own citizens. And yet, you are a dance troupe, are you not? Are you certain that your friends here are up to the task of suppressing an armed revolt? You can be assured that they are. For what it's worth, I too will be accompanying Rada and Throat to ensure that everything is in order. Besides, there is something that I would confirm with my own eyes. And with that, we should be on our way. The Duskwights in question are said to be congregating in South Shroud. Let us meet first at the local tavern and formulate a plan of attack. Yeah, you obviously haven't seen the type of dancing that we do. It's to die for. Sometimes literally. Oh god, why'd you want to set up a dance over here? According to one of the regulars here, the Duskwight troublemakers were seen not too long ago just to the northeast of here. And that's not all. A rumor says that they were, and I quote, gyrating and undulating in a most curious way. Whatever it was that we witnessed in Thanalan, it seems likely that it's afflicted some of the people here as well. We must investigate the matter with all speed. Come now. So there's gotta be some sort of rogue dancing troupe that's doing all of this. Can't think of anything else. Maybe they're related to our instructor here? Throat, Mistress Nashmira, I think I saw something. Over there, behind the bushes. Oh, you have better eyes than I did. Didn't see anything. Oh my god, it is a cult. That's it! That's the same creepy dance I saw in Ul'dah! Dance of the Damned. Yes, it's just as I feared. Are they dancing to become zombies, or what the hell does that mean? I'll explain everything in good time. For the moment, just leave them to me. Okay.
Okay.
Begone, meddlers! Leave us to our dancing! What in the... my legs? It's as if they have a mind of their own! It's a dancing element! Oh, god! Okay, I didn't expect that to happen. You stay with Mistress Nashmira, I'll deal with this thing. I'll tend to Mistress Nashmira, you deal with the... whatever that is. So, like I said. You okay? Alright, well. Looks like I'm taking care of this. It's a dancing elemental! I'm having a dance-off with a dancing elemental. Aha! Easy. Especially if you're 5 levels above the quest level. Forgive me, Throat, and thank you. And to think I was scolding poor Rana for her overconfidence. In my heyday, I would have made short work of that thing, but alas, those days are long behind me. Don't be too hard on yourself, Mistress Nashmira. We all have our bad days, and besides, it's not as if you were just being reckless like me, but never mind that. What in the world did I just see? That creepy dance, that strange cloud of black ether. What does all of this mean, Mistress Nashmira? Come now, I know you know more than you've let on. I do, and I fully intend to share my knowledge with you. Once I have seen what I must see with my own 2 eyes. In the meantime, someone should hand over these men to the Twin Adders. I suppose you're right, and we must treat your wounds as well. Throat, could I ask you to return to the Adder's Nest and deliver our report? I'll tend to Mistress Nashmira's scratches and see that no other troublemaking dusk whites show up.
Okay.
So we're dealing with elementals that can entrance with the power of dance! And zombies. Mr. Twin Adder Person, we have a report. What's this? You apprehended the dusk white miscreants for us? Splendid! On behalf of all of Gridania, you have our gratitude. We'll dispatch a unit to the South Shroud at once. My apologies for the delay, Throat. I'm pleased to report that our dancing Duskwhite friends have been handed over to the proper authorities, and Ron has patched up my wounds good as new. With sufficient rest, I should be back on stage in no time. Not on my watch, you won't. I mean, pray do not overexert yourself, Mistress Nashmira. You need your rest, and I told you I could have handed over the culprits myself. I know, Rana, and yet I wanted to be there myself when they awoke. It played out exactly as I expected. They remembered little or nothing about their dancing, their secret gatherings, or any of the conversations that led up to it all. Just being stubborn, no doubt. Worry not, friends. The Twin Adders will carry out a proper interrogation. And yet, one thing concerns me. Is it true that these events bear a striking similarity to a situation witnessed in Ul'dah? Yeah, exactly. What we witnessed is none other than the Totentaz, the Dance of the Damned. And it is our God's given duty as dancers to see that is never danced again. Come again? The Dance of the Damned, our mission? Whatever are you rambling about, Mistress Nashmira? I thought our mission was to lend strength and succor to the suffering and lift the spirits of the realm. That it is, and yet the truth of exactly what entails this runs far deeper. Throughout our storied history, the dancers of Troop Falsheim have saved countless lands time and again from a fate most dire. When war and calamity ravaged the land, fear and anger filled men's hearts. These emotions fester, reacting with the ether around us. In the air we breathe, the ground beneath our feet, to form an etheric manifestation of malaise that spreads like a dark cloud across the land. The weak, the downtrodden, the scorned, and the suffering. Sadly, it is these people who are oft the quickest to fall prey to dark despair. Left unchecked, the shadow fully consumes them. Their hearts, their minds, in the end, even control of their very limbs is taken from them. Stripped of the last semblances of sanity, they flail about in a manner most hideous. Tales tell of mothers blissfully unaware as they trampled their beloved children. Men who dance so violently they ripped limbs from their own body. This is the Totentons, the Dance of the Damned. What madness is this? If you speak true, and this damnable dance you speak of arises from the fear and anger in people's hearts, why did it not manifest itself in the wake of the calamity in Eorzea's darkest hour? Call me mad, but I think I understand. In times of greatest crisis, just surviving for another day requires all the strength we can muster. People have neither the time nor the freedom of mind to dwell on emotions like hatred or anger. Rana has the right of it. It is precisely at this time, a time when Eorzea has made great strides in its recovery, yet deeper wounds still go undressed, that your people are most susceptible to that damnable dance. So that is why our art was born so many ages ago. Not just to drive out the darkness from people's hearts in a figurative sense, but to literally cast out etheric shadows and free the afflicted from the clutches of the Totentons. Yes, this is the truth of Troop Falsheim, passed down from principle to principle for generations. What I did for the Duskwhites was to use my dance to extract the darkness from their hearts, to give it physical form, and that can be struck down and banished. It has been several centuries since the menace of the Totentons last reared its ugly head. To be honest, when we first came to Eorzea, I was unsure as to what we would encounter. So as to not worry the two of you over much, I kept the truth from you. Yet now that I've seen it with my own eyes, our mission could not be more clear. As the inheritors of the Kriegsstans, we must chase the shadow of the Totentons from this realm. I beg forgiveness for the secrecy, my friends, and ask that you lend me your aid. You know what? I'm past the point of caring. You can count on me. Of course you can count on us. After all, Throat and I are dancers of Troop Falsheim too. And it's like you always say, a dancer never abandons her partner. Why should you have to carry out the burden of saving the whole realm all by yourself? Rana, Throat, after all my harsh words and hidden truths, you are far too kind. I must confess that I'm still struggling to understand this all. But one thing is clear. This dancing epidemic you speak of poses a grave danger to our realm. I'll contact the other grand companies immediately and apprise them of the threat. Should there be any reports of similar phenomena in other nations, we would like to call upon you to deal with the matter. Forgive us the imposition, but clearly this is beyond our ability. Leave it to us. Nothing would honor us more than if the nations of Eorzea would place their trust in Troop Falsheim and allow us to perform for their people. And with that, only Ishgard and Alamigo remain on our itinerary. Of the two, Ishgard has had more time for its people to recover from the scars of war, let's make it our next destination. At any rate, we will need more time to properly prepare for the confrontation ahead. In the meantime, Rana, you are to continue your performances. You require more practice still, and I can bequeath to you all the secrets of the Kragstans. Before I can bequeath to you the secrets. You can count on me, Mistress Nashmira, and you, Thrope. Pray continue to hone your skills in battle. If we hope to prevail against the Totentons, we will need your martial skills as much as we need your dancing. For no, it is not enough that we lure the shadows out of people's hearts. We must dispel the darkness for good, lest it simply drift on until it finds another unsuspecting host. Yes, we will be needing your strength more than ever. Oh, good. How did I see this coming? And with that, I too should prepare myself. Our true last act draws ever closer at hand. Yep, combat and dancing go hand in hand in this game. So, yeah. Where's the next quest? Oh, back here. Thought I had to take a quest from one of those guys. Level 68 quest. Hi, stepping in the Holy See. Throat, your timing is impeccable. I just received word from Ishgard. So quick, huh? Couldn't have anything to do with the fact that I'm already level 70 and I'm just speeding through these as one after the other. I just received word from Ishgard. The powers that be have decided to welcome Troop Falsheim with open arms. Fortunately, there are no rumors to suggest that the Totentons has already struck in the city or any of the surrounding regions in Kurthus. And yet, word has it that some of the less privileged residents of the city have grown increasingly vocal of late. Not entirely unlike what we witnessed in Ul'dah. We must be vigilant. And so I would like to ask you and Rana to make for the Holy See as soon as you're able. I would join you, but I fear my wounds are not healing as quickly as I hoped. I would only slow you down. Leave it to us, Mistress Nashmira. No matter what shadows plague the people's hearts, there'll be no match for your two favorite protégés. Come, Throat. Ishgard awaits us. Which way was it again? I would believe the direction you're looking for is north. And here we are in scenic Ishgard. Oh, hey. Aren't you cold? Did you forget to bring a coat? Why, my arms and legs feel like they're gonna freeze and snap off like icicles. How can you even bear this, Throat? I've gotten used to it. I suppose adventurers like you get to experience all sorts of climes in your travels. Perhaps in time I'll get used to it too. Anyhow, our first order of business is to pay our respects to our hosts. I've been told that one Sir Handeloop awaits us at a place they call the Congregation. I take it you know the way? And you just decide to go, okay. You know, I kind of like to think that this guy's first name is Hure and his last name is On Hard Times. Well met, Throat. It is a pleasure to welcome you back to Ishgard. Though I must say, I did not expect to see you return to us as a member of a traveling dance troupe. Just wait until you see him on stage. He's a sight to behold. But forgive me. My name is Ron Amigo, and I thank you for opening the gates of your fair city to Troop Falsheim. The pleasure is ours. I must confess that I found the report from our friends at the Twin Adder regarding this Dance of the Damned somewhat difficult to believe. But if even a great hero like Throat here would come all the way here for this purpose, I would be a fool to dismiss the threat. Yeah, I kind of have a very big sway on the people of Ishgard. And yet I have questions. The instructions from your mistress Nashmira called for rounding up prominent members of the commoner class and seating them in front and center at your performance. I did not object, of course, but whatever purpose is this meant to serve? The Totentaz is a plague that spreads from one man's heart to the next, and those whose hearts weigh heaviest with anger, fear, and unease are often the first to fall prey to its clutches. If we can assemble influential members of the community and free their hearts from shadow before disaster strikes, these men and women could in turn raise the spirits of their peers. Mistress Nashmira believes that is our best hope for curtailing the spread of the Totentaz. Where the leaders go, soon others will follow. I suppose it's as logical a course of action as any. Very well. I have already identified a suitable personages and extend to them an invitation to your performance. The venue will be before the Gates of Judgment. We believe this location would be most accessible to those who live outside the city walls. Thank you kindly, my good sir. Well then, Throat, we best get on our way. We don't want to keep our audience waiting out here in the freezing cold, do we? Oh, why did I remind myself about the cold? 1, you get used to it. 2, please bring a coat. Because even mind over matter only lasts so much. Only goes so far, rather. Anyway, I'm here. Talk about an imposing audience. Now let's give them a show to remember. Oh, and Throat, let's keep the true purpose of our performance to ourselves, alright? We don't want to cause a panic, after all. If we can draw and dispel the darkness before the Totem Toss strikes, our task will be that much easier. And besides, we want our audience to enjoy the show, don't we? I must admit, I'm a bit nervous, but I know we'll be fine if we trust each other. Alright, here goes nothing. Watch closely and follow my lead. Ladies, gentlemen, fair citizens of the Holy See, hailing from distant Rosathan in the east, we are Troop Falsheim. Today, we dance for you the Kriegstanz, an ancient art passed down to us from days of yore. Through the Kriegstanz was born on the battlefield. It is a dance that brings healing and succor. Your people suffered for too long the horrors of the Dragon Song War. Let our performance fill your hearts with hope and heal any scars that may still linger. And now, without further ado, let the show begin. I've never seen dancing like this before. It stirs the very depths of the soul. Just watching her, I can feel my pain and anger melting away. Ooh. Oh, there's more than one. Pay no mind to those ominous clouds. It's all part of the performance, you see. Yes, Troop Falsheim spares no expenses in treating our audience to a spectacle for the senses. That's your cue, Throat. Now sweep those nasty shadows away.
Okay.
Ah, that's how you're passing it off, as so that they don't get spooked. Might want to have them keep their distance. This is gonna get very nasty. Aha! Ha ha ha! And dead. I did good. Also, damn, I got lucky on the procs. When I received a sudden invitation to this performance, I didn't know what to expect, but that was simply remarkable. Ever since the show ended, my mind is clear, and all my troubles just don't seem so bad anymore. And I the same. I must say, that last scene where the fearsome shadow beast appeared was particularly dramatic and invigorating. It's the strangest feeling. Even though my lot in life hasn't changed one bit, I feel like I've been able to face tomorrow with my head held high. Oh, you folks are too kind. But I thank you one and all. Never in my life have I felt so proud to be a dancer. Yay! We helped people. And I got to fight. Nothing quite like seeing all those smiling, satisfied faces, don't you agree, Throat? Just the thought that we were able to bring a measure of happiness and hope to these proud, strong people makes all the hard hours of training worthwhile. And can you believe it? We were even able to stave off shadows before the Totem Toss even struck. I do believe we've more than done Nashmira proud. Aye, that we have. I dare say our job here is done. So why don't we head back to Gridania and share the good tidings with everyone? I'll race you there. Don't you want to take an air... Well, while you just walk there unprotected by the elements, from the elements, I'm gonna go on ahead and just take an airship. A lot cheaper than teleporting. Screw it, I'm teleporting. Oh, I see you actually put on your warmer clothes after you were out of the snow. Throat, it's Mistress Nashmira. She's gone. The hell happened? Settle down, Rana. Nothing ill has befallen our leader. She's simply taken a leave of absence entirely of her own volition. She said she had a matter to attend to with an old friend, the same friend who introduced her to our patron, Master Gegaruju, if I recall. She was reluctant to go into detail, but it would seem this individual is also familiar with the Totem Toss and has been researching the situation at Alamigo on our behalf. Mistress Nashmira means to join her there and scout out a suitable venue for our ultimate performance. She has asked that you and Rana continue training on your own until such a time as she summons us. Would it have killed her to at least wait for our report? Or does that mean she actually trusts us? I think she trusts us at this point. If Mistress Nashmira believes in our ability to handle affairs, I suppose we owe her the same in return. Now that Alamigo has finally been freed from the Garlean yoke, surely it's only a matter of time before its people are ready to welcome us with open arms. At the same time, much like Ishgard, it is a land whose people have known more than their fair share of suffering. We will need to be at our best to deliver them from the Dance of the Damned. You know what that means, Throat. We must train with greater discipline than ever before. Or, you could just be like me and already beat level 70. There it is. What I ultimately want. The technical step. Great news, Throat. A post-Moogle just dropped off this letter from Mistress Nashmira. She says the stage has been set for our performance in Alamigo. Oh, good. What are we waiting for? Let's head over there right now. Why, she's even scouted out what she claims is an ideal venue to host our exhibition. A village called Al-Ghanah that sits in the Garabania Highlands. Though Alamigo is finally free from Garlean rule, many of its people still have doubts that this peace will truly prevail. In other words, it is precisely the sort of place where the Totentas might strike. At any rate, Mistress Nashmira assures me that she and her secretive acquaintance may have made all the necessary preparations. The Alamigan resistance, she says, has seen fit to ensure that Al-Ghana's most prominent residents will be in attendance. If we can perform as we did in Ishgard and swiftly dispel the darkness from their hearts, surely they will be able to influence their fellow villagers and stave off the onset of the Totentas. And what did she say at the very end of her letter? Ah yes, Rana, Throat, the success of our tour and the very future of Troop Falsheim itself rides on you. I'm counting on you to rise to the occasion. Are you excited as I am? Let's make this a show for the ages. And with that, let us set out for Al-Ghanah. We mustn't keep Mistress Nashmira waiting. So, are you finally gonna take an airship out there, or are you... Oh, they're gone already. Alright, well, I guess I better head over there myself. Ah, there you are, Throat. Have you by chance seen Mistress Nashmira? I can't find her anywhere, but I'm sure she'll be along soon. I know she wouldn't miss our performance for the world. And look at what I found. I scoured the troops' wardrobe to find outfits befitting our grand finale. One thing's for certain, we'll be dressed to impress. And remember, mum's the word about the Totentats, alright? We want our audience to enjoy the performance without worrying themselves with the terrible truth behind it all. Well then, whenever you're ready to take the stage, you know where to find me. Oh, okay. So, it's instanced. Good. I think I'm gonna go on ahead and, take care of that then. Time to raise the curtain on our final Oh, good, my item level's gonna be synced. Ooh, fancy. So close and yet so far. For all who cannot make the voyage to our home, we bring our art to yours. Hailing from Rozet-Han across the sea, I present the incomparable, transcendent Troop Falsheim. Today we perform for you the ancient dance of our ancestors, a spectacle to stir the heart, enrich the mind, and chase away the shadows of doubt that plague your soul. Feast your eyes upon the Kriegstanz. Why'd they have to have the camera that low? You got this. Ooh, that's a fancy looking one. Ensure them that it's all part of the show. Right on cue. All right, Throat. Let's take out that nasty thing before our audience realizes it's not just for the show.
Okay.
Just look at these enraptured faces. The excitement in the air is almost palpable. They know what they're about to get, the show that likes that they wait of which they've never seen. The Alamegans are counting on his throat, and in more ways than they themselves even know. We must dance and not stop dancing till every last shadow has been purged from their hearts. This is the performance we were born to give. Play on, guys. Let's do this. Oh, we got ads. Take them out. Oh, I've got one coming at me? Oh, good. Oh, they explode. Okay, no wonder. Oh, good. You decided to show up. Perfect. Wow, what an explosive finish. I saw them move over there, and I decided to follow because that usually means I'm not going to die. Okay, that sounded creepy. Oh, I still got hit by it. Damn lag. They still think it's a show. Little do they realize we're about to save their asses. I've got the big guy. Alright, big guy down. The ones on the side. Oh, your countdown is still going. Good. Oh, hey, look at that. They're powering me up. What a hell of a finish. Mistress Nashmira, oh, I knew you wouldn't miss our grand finale. And your dancing, why, you were every bit as enchanting as I remembered from all those years ago. Sharing the stage with you truly was a dream come true. I simply had to make amends for my embarrassing display in Gridania, did I not? My wounds had all but healed entirely, so I redoubled my training efforts when arriving here in Alamigo. I dare say I feel as spry as I have in years. And yet, there can be no doubt you and Throat were the true stars today. To think that you have come so far in such a short span of time, mayhap I should have just admired your performance from the wings instead of stepping in. Actually, I think we might have not been able to have, gotten the DPS check if you hadn't shown up. Tut, Mira. I seem to recall you telling me just the other day that the girl was still not ready for the spotlight. Oh! I did not know. Huh. You know me, Laman. Or however it's pronounced. I'm strict with my students because I expect only the best from them. And these two have done me proud today. Fancy meeting you here, Throat. I admit it gave me quite a start when my Mira here told me that you of all people had joined her merry little troop. Mira and I go far back, you know. After this horrific offense unfolded in Ul'dah, I hid away in Thavnir for some time. It was then that we first made each other's acquaintance. Song and dance go together rather well, needless to say, and our friendship rapidly blossomed. When she turned to me for assistance in planning Troop Falsheim's tour of Eorzea, I was more than happy to do my part. It does not surprise me that an accomplished adventurer would have many friends across the realm, but I never would have suspected you and my dear Lahaman were so close. Truly, fate must have brought us together for a reason. I feel the same. Your presence alone has motivated me to grow in ways I never would have thought possible. You have given me the courage, strength, and determination to be more than what I was. Thought I recognized that face from somewhere. From Liberator of Alamigo to traveling performer, eh? Not a path I'd have predicted, but I'm hardly surprised to see you emerge triumphant in whatever you do. Aye, that was truly a performance for the ages. Here in Al-Ghana, we don't get much exposure to foreign cultures. Rather stimulating, that was. Especially the grand finale where he chased off those bloody shadow beasts. Got the blood pumping, I'd say. I only wish there was more we could do to show our appreciation. Think nothing of it, my good sir. Just knowing that we've brought a measure of joy to Alamigo is, in its time of need, is reward enough for us. Too kind you are, miss. The road ahead of us is a long one, but thanks to you, we can stride down it with a spring in our step. Know that our village is always open to you, should you ever be willing to grace us with another performance. Farewell, friends. Whew, for a second I thought he'd realized the true nature of those shadows, but no, the threat of the Totentaz is gone for now, and it seems no one's the wiser. This is heartening indeed, and with that we should prepare for our departure. The Alamegans were kind enough to invite us in these trying times. We mustn't linger so long that our presence becomes a burden. I too should be on my way. It was a pleasure and honor both to see you on the stage again, Mira, and you as well, Throat. To our paths cross again, go in safety.
Okay.
Surprised to see that she has way more connections than she lets on. Anyway. Well, that's the last of it. Our props are packed up and we're ready to take to the road. Must say, it's a touch bittersweet knowing that this was our last performance, but I suppose the best things must come to an end. Mistress Nashmira will go ahead to Limsa Lamensa to secure our passage back to Razathan. You'll stop by and see us off, yes? We'd like to pay you proper thanks before taking our leave of this land. You know, it's kind of appropriate that we end things off where all of this began, pretty much. Throat, I'm so touched. You really did come to see us off. Thank you ever so much for all you've done. It was an honor to tour Eorzea with you and bring strength and succor to its people. You have my gratitude as well, Throat. The people whose hearts you have touched will, in turn, inspire others. Yes, before long, the Dance of the Damned will be but a memory. And yet, until that time, we cannot let down our guard. I propose that we extend our tour of Eorzea, in the event that there are yet people in this realm who still require our aid. Do you truly mean this, Mr. Slashmira? Throat and I can keep dancing together? In good time, Rana, yes, but Throat is an adventurer and one whose services are justifiably in high demand. It would not be very considerate of us to monopolize his service for our ends. And so we bid you farewell for now. Rana and I will remain in Limsa and consult with Master Gegaruju about potentially extending our tour to new locations. Pray come back and visit us on occasion, yes? Rana gets awfully lonely without company. Hey, that's not... well, I suppose it is true. Keep dancing, Throat, and let us eagerly await the day we can take the stage together anew. Aw, she has a crush on me. Or it could just be very professional stuff. I don't know. Eggs. I have learned the dance of dances. My step gauge has been expanded, eh? Oh! Alright, because this dance needs 4. I have learned the technical step. It is technically a step and it gives me power. Hell yeah. And with that, I think this leg of my little adventure in getting a class up to 70 and finishing the story is done. All this dancing's gotten me hungry though. I think I'm gonna go make some potatoes. Probably season them with something.